Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 254, recording on Sunday, November 30th, 2025. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name's Andrew.
And we were away last week, so we'll do a quick catch-up on the Xbox partner preview. Won't spend too much time on it, but might discuss a few games that were announced there, going way back to, is it the 15th, 20th of November? And we'll also talk about what we played, and there has been quite a bit. Getting ready for our end-of-year lists, prepping for the Game Awards so we can be appropriately infuriated or boycott them if the wrong thing wins in a couple weeks. And Sean is patiently waiting, or impatiently waiting, for Metroid Prime 4 next week.
That's right.
He was screwed out of his pre-order.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
From 10 years ago or whatever.
It was 7 years ago, so maybe it's fair, but I don't know. I called a couple times. Apparently, a lot of people got them canceled. Mine never got canceled, but I kept trying to call. For one, I had an old address. They would not let me update the address. But number two, they kept saying it's a different game because it's just listed as Metroid, not Metroid Prime 4. So
this is when games would be announced at E3. They would have discounts if you pre-ordered them that week.
Yeah.
Sean, when we got our flash presentation of the logo of Metroid Prime 4 from Reggie,
yeah,
Sean pre-ordered immediately, and now he's gotten screwed. And I mean, this was lawyers, Canadian lawyers, whatever, like they can start a class action lawsuit on behalf of Sean and maybe other Game Junk listeners. I think it's worth looking into.
Yeah, let me know if any lawyers are listening. But yeah, this was back. You would get a pretty good discount. Like I believe it was $50, $49.99.
Yeah, you paid $50, and now that game's $100 to buy it on Switch too.
That's probably why they're canceling. They've probably found any loophole they could to cancel that pre-order.
Oh yeah,
that's not Sean's problem, but it is going to be Walmart's problem, right?
We can find the right lawyer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I haven't canceled it yet. So it's
don't cancel it. See what happens. Write it out at this point.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it's $50. It's an experiment. You got to see what happens. Okay. Anything else we need to discuss before we get into the partner preview?
Well, I would just say little update for me while we were away. I had multiple trips to the hospital recently. For my son broke his arm, and then I had like a health scare. I had a blood clot in my leg, so that was like not ideal. So sorry for missing, but I was like, I'm going to take the week off, and these guys were like, that's a good idea. We should do that. So it all worked out in the end, but lots of hospital trips and lots of long hours at the hospital, which is not ideal. So feel pretty burnt out.
Hopefully you got it all out of the way. You don't want to go during the holidays, and
still battling the blood clot a bit, actually. I'm on now blood thinners, which is not ideal, but that's still there. Unfortunately, it's like a month now, so that's hanging out.
Now, is the blood thinner about half a glass of rum and half a glass of Coke? Or
no, that's the bonus blood thinner.
Oh, okay, that's the super thinner?
That's the super thinner. Yeah, that's the extra thinner that I add just to really speed up the process.
If you really need to thin it out, maybe just toss a VR visor on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get it nice and thin.
The blood clot, though, was, they told me at my follow-up appointment, it was 15 centimeters long, which is no tiny clot. So
no, when you told us that, I was like, that sounds pretty serious.
I know. Luckily, it was not in like the deep vein, so there wasn't like they weren't too concerned about it, but yeah, it's still hanging around. It's still like 6 centimeters, they said, as of a couple days ago. So it's not going away as fast as they hoped. So gotta bring in the blood thinners now to really kick it in the ass.
And I wasn't going to bring this up, but I think I got to. Just last night, we were celebrating Reed Farrington's birthday, and we were playing a game. What was the name of that game, Sean?
I think it's called Just One.
Just One. And it's like a guessing game where it's kind of cooperative. There's no real goals other than to guess words. And so whoever's turn it is, they hold a card outward with a bunch of words, and one of the words gets picked. They don't see the word. Everyone else sees the word. And then you're trying to write a word that will allow them to guess that word, kind of like password or something like that. And if people put the same answer, they get canceled out. So you're trying to think of a unique clue to help them guess the word. And the first word, this is the first word of the night, I believe, right, Sean?
Hey, I was still getting warmed up.
Dwayne went first, and we guided him down a path because PlayStation, the word PlayStation was on the first card.
Wow. What are the odds?
This is my jam. Obviously, I wrote trophies as my word. And then everyone wrote a word. Some people wrote system, console, and everyone wrote something appropriate, I would say. Sean wrote the word hedgehog.
What?
For PlayStation.
This
is the Game Junk podcast.
It seemed right in my mind. I don't know what to say. I was thinking, trying to go too far outside the box, I think. But yeah, and even when Frank questioned me on it, I was like, what? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, and Zach's like, yeah, why? Well, that's great. I'm like, what? What is
Oh
going
my
on?
goodness. That's embarrassing, Sean.
Not good.
Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
And even if you would have said, oh, I've meant Bandicoot or something, I don't know, just you doubled down. You just
I thought
had
you
no
said
clue.
Dreamcast or something.
Something's up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that had to be brought up. I'm sorry, Sean. It's
all
gaming
right.
news as far as I'm
shame.
concerned.
You
That
did
is so
document
shame.
it, so I feel like it had to come up somehow.
Yes. Okay. Xbox partner preview. Maybe just to simplify this a bit, I'm putting you on the spot. Pick one game out of the partner preview that caught your eye, or maybe one that you played. Sean, why don't you go first after you've been humiliated?
Sure. I mean, it was a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, there was ports of things that have been around. There's DLC for existing games. I mean, there's one or two that I hadn't heard of before that looked kind of interesting. I will bring up Erosion.
Good pick.
Kind of an isometric game, voxel style graphics, kind of a Western vibe. Don't know too much else other than that, but looked like
it had
something I might play.
A lot of different gameplay elements, like a lot, almost overwhelmingly number, but definitely caught my eye as well.
So even, I know I said this for Bonanza, possibly one of the few people on Earth who mentioned the Vampire Survivors influence. And I think that's bleeding into a lot of things. I see like that kind of the chaos and rewards and bombardment of feedback of slot machines and that type of reward and feedback mechanisms bleeding into every game. And I definitely saw it in Erosion. And I was excited for that reason and others. I thought it looked quite good. Huck, what's your pick?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like a lot of this, I talked to you guys a bit before, like a lot of it gave me like Halloween vibes, a lot of like horror stuff kind of popping up, or super weird, kind of like not even post-apocalyptic, but just like weird environments and stuff like that.
And
But
color palette wise, just kind of
dull.
like grays, muddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that Tides of Annihilation had some interesting visual changes where it would like
There's like a
tear
mirrored
into the
floor and
fabric
stuff.
of the background and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
it looked good. Don't get me wrong, that game looked good. But I agree. I know I say this a lot, but kind of the muddy original Unreal look of games is like a current gen version of that. I felt that all over all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That Tides of Annihilation one was giving me like almost like Bayonetta vibes. I don't know if that was just because of the
That was kind of like
female
Bayonetta
action.
meets Elden Ring.
Yeah, something like that. Also, like I was like, okay, this looks kind of good, but not my thing. But the thing that caught my eye, which is probably the most different, was Roadside Research, which is the like aliens running a corner store or a gas station, and you're basically like there's dumb humans that come to your store and you are an alien with like a paper over your face that has eye holes, essentially, like, and you're trying to not get caught that you're an alien or something like that. Very bizarre. It's almost like those like simulators, like, you know, like a store simulator, almost like Power Wash Simulator, mixed with this weird alien humor and some sort of other kind of like thing going on. So it's just a very bizarre game and something, I don't know, you'd never really think to mash up, but it's kind of interesting that you take kind of like the like a small area simulator game that's very popular these days, and then you add this weird kind of like alien facade on top of it. And I think it's smart to add, you know, something else that would draw people in and separate yourself from, you know, lawnmower simulator and farming simulator and truck simulator. And, yeah.
By the time you watch a Nintendo Direct with 20 cozy Sims, I agree. Having some type of unique idea, whether it's for comedic or gameplay purposes, is essential. And I actually I'd heard bad things about this partner preview, and I finally watched it today, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I thought there was a lot of games I hadn't heard of before that looked decent. Nothing like blew my mind, but they all were kind of intriguing to me to some degree. My comments about art direction across the board stand. And Armistice, the first game that was shown, definitely is not my pick, but clearly going for a multi-platform Returnal vibe with maybe a bit more melee. But it was like, well, Returnal's exclusive to PlayStation. Maybe we could do something like that that's on every platform, was what I got. I think if there's one game I want to play, it would be Crowsworn, which is clearly influenced by Hollow Knight and trying to capture some hardcore action 2D gameplay, including a diagonal dive move that is almost identical to Hollow Knight. It's weird. There are like small flourishes with animation. So it's like this kind of medieval doctor with those masks. What are they called again? You guys remember?
Plague Doctor mask?
Plague Doctor, yeah. Plague mask. And, you know, he gets in a mine cart at some point, and there's like these animation flourishes of like flipping the gun and doing stuff. And then at other times, the standard animations for jumping and running, the character almost stands straight up.
Stiff.
It's like a weird juxtaposition of stiff core animation set and then small animations all over the place. So I'm curious to see if that evolves by the time the game is released. But I thought the gameplay looked really good and looked fast and fun, and I was intrigued. But definitely some decent games. This Raji game, I don't remember the original. It was a top-down game, and they're converting to kind of a third-person version, although there was no footage really, so it's tough to tell. But they're definitely changing their art style to be more photorealistic. And we were talking a bit before the show about Zoopunk, which is, I immediately was like, oh, this looks like Fist, forged in Shadow Torch. That Rabbit game had a very similar vibe, and I kind of disregarded it, but Sean before the show said it is in the same universe. And although I didn't think it looked that good, I thought compared to all the third-person action games out there, the effects and core melee combat looked pretty underwhelming, to be honest. But maybe lastly, we'll mention, Huck, you played one of the games that was announced as a shadow drop that day? Yeah,
Clover Pit. I gave it a try. It was kind of weird. To be honest, I wasn't really paying that close attention to any of the instructions that they were throwing at me, and I was just, it's basically like a slot machine. It kind of reminded me of
Slot Machine Balatro.
Or I was going to say Inscription.
Yeah, I think it's the same developer as Buckshot Roulette, I believe, which is kind of same kind of like, well, I don't know if that's a roguelike, but I think it is. But it's, you know, it got horror vibes as well.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, there was another roulette roguelike that I tried.
Oh, yeah. So I really don't have too much to say, but I basically pulled the slot lever a few times. You got some coins, and then you feed it into some other machine. And I was kind of hoping it would, do something to in that first like 10 minutes I played to kind of hook me, and it didn't really do anything for me. Now, I also didn't like I said, I didn't read the instructions. I didn't really read what you're supposed to do. So I was just kind of mashing buttons, so to speak, while playing this game. So I don't know. I don't really know what it's about, to be honest, but it had a vibe for sure that was similar to Inscription, with like some weird elements going on, but a lot of the stuff you could buy, I didn't really understand. Like even the descriptions of them, like they were, increase something, blah, blah, blah. And I had no idea what that blah, blah, blah thing was. So like, I have this money to buy, but why would I buy this thing? I don't know. It's not like some other game where it's grounded in something that I understand. So, yeah, it was a little strange.
That is the beauty of Balatro. It's building on a game that 80% of the world is familiar with.
Yeah, even like the slot machine mechanic, it seemed like, normally how I think of a slot machine is you need to line up the things in one row. And this seemed to be like giving me rewards for anything I got that was visible. And I didn't really understand what I was even trying to do other than just like lazily pull the slot lever. So
well, I was going to mention, comparing it to the simplicity of poker and Balatro, you'd think slot machines are simple, but I go with my family sometimes to the casino and play slots, and I don't know what the hell's going on half the time. Like some of them have like 50 lines. Like there's no way you could follow these lines. And
yeah, that's it then. I thought there was some sort of like rules to this game, and there's really not. No. Like
I'm sure experienced slot players like kind of know generally where these lines go, and
maybe
they're somewhat standard, but good God, they are tough to navigate.
Yeah. So, correction. I don't think it is the same developer as Buckshot Roulette, but it definitely had the same vibe to me. Oh. So I don't know if it was influenced by it or what.
I didn't know. Did you say same developers? I thought you did say just similar vibe.
I think I said same developers.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
We should mention though, like, two things. Echo Generation 2. Now, this is from
Coco Cucumber.
I feel like we always talk about them and we're kind of like puzzled. Like, what are I'm always kind of intrigued by their games, but then when I play them, there's not that much there. But Echo Generation was one that it's kind of like an RPG in the vein of like Earthbound or something with that voxel style graphics, and I kind of liked it. I was like kind of wanting to revisit it. It's not on Game Pass anymore, but maybe it'll come back now because Part 2 is coming out, and it seemed like this is a big announcement for Game Pass. Seemed like I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I was kind of turned off by its obvious ripoff of Stranger Things. It just seemed like basically very similar to the story of what I remember of Stranger Things. And I don't know. They definitely have perfected that voxel art style, and it is appealing. I think it does look good. But I wish they, I don't know, maybe did something a little more original than just the Stranger Things game. Maybe they're trying to get a Stranger Things tie-in game and didn't, and then just kept rolling with it. I don't know.
Did anyone play Echo Generation 1?
I did
a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't play. I was looking it up because I like the art style, and I agree. Their Coco Cucumber art style, it does attract me every time. I remember wanting to try River Bond and just finding the gameplay really underwhelming. And this is like a kind of deck-based roguelike, right? Is that like a?
I think it's more like a turn-based RPG from what I remember.
But yeah, I mean,
this one seems a little more horror-oriented than the original. I think the original was more science fiction-y, but anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, it is just an RPG. It looks kind of cool, but I'd probably go back and play the original first. I've never And I don't think they have great gameplay design, and I haven't played any. I'd rather play a game that doesn't look good, that plays well. Something like Slay the Spire, where they can improve the graphics. They can hire great artists. Mm-hmm. They have the artists. I'm not seeing the potential for fun in their games very often.
Yeah, I agree. But we got to mention the Vampire Survivors spin-off, I guess it is.
Yeah. It's like a first-person / deck building roguelike, strange. You really don't know what it is. It feels like the direction they took was, we like the chaos of Vampire Survivors. Could we almost invent a new hybrid game that employs a lot of these things and is different and uses the same art assets? I did like the intro where they kind of teased a live action movie for Vampire Survivors with Poe as the lead character. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like there was the charm in the original Vampire Survivors that all these attempts to recapture it and extend it just doesn't do much for me. It's kind of like, what other game did this? Among Us. It had its moment, and then the tail just kept going in different versions, and maybe people still talk about it here and there, but it just seems like it's desperate to hold on to its popularity. But I hope it's good, because I love Vampire Survivors, and I think it has potential if based on the designers and what they did with the first game.
Weirdly, the game that it kind of reminded me of was Severed. I know that, obviously Severed was kind of just based on old school dungeon crawl games to a degree. Maybe that's sort of what they're going for here, but obviously the deck building element too, Slay the Spire, all those kind of games are pretty popular too. So I don't know. I'm curious. It's interesting that it's not just a straight up sequel. It's totally different than Vampire Survivors. So yeah.
I really wish, I can't remember if I ever told Graham this, but I love Severed. You need touch controls to play it. So it'd be nice to see it on some other touch devices. And I would love to see a VR version of Severed.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Is it on Switch?
I don't think so. I think it's just Vita.
It's on iOS, I believe, mobile, but yeah, Switch would make sense.
Okay. Anything else we need to mention from this partner showcase?
One game I was wondering if any of you guys tried was the Total Chaos game. I thought it looked pretty freaky, and it's out now, which was like a shadow drop that I haven't heard anyone really buzzing about, but it looked like it had potential, to be honest. I don't know if you guys remember this one for the show, but it's like weird, a lot of weirdness going on, kind of like very a horror meets just weird creatures, almost like Cthulhu. I mean, there was another Cthulhu game, but this is also kind of like Cthulhu, of weird monsters and throwing stuff at you. I remember in a foresty area and stuff like that. So it felt a little generic to me. It didn't look bad by any means, and if people said the gameplay was great, I would check it out. But nothing about the video demanded that I try that day. I think I might have gone to Steam right away, and the reviews were kind of just positive at that time. Okay. They're mostly positive now, I think. But it's from the developers of Turbo Overkill, which people really like. But is that one of those boomer shooter games?
Yeah, different genre. But I mean, it's on Game Pass. I'll probably check it out at some point.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do we want to give a letter grade?
We can.
We have to, I think.
Sure.
I'll give it a B-. I didn't think it was that bad for what it was. Half an hour of all relatively new game announcements that were decent looking.
Yeah,
I had no issues with it.
It's like a C for me.
I'll land in the middle.
I should mention that no one's mentioned yet. A lot of the games, except for maybe 2, are coming to every platform. So it's not like, I'm not saying this is a big win for Xbox, but just in terms of the games themselves.
Yeah. I'm gonna land in the middle, you guys. I'll give it a C+. I thought it was pretty good, but a lot, like we were talking about, a lot of kind of generic looking kind of stuff that didn't really grab me. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was totally fine.
All right, let's get into what we played. Is there a game du jour or a new game that should be talked about that you guys played that I'm forgetting about?
I played one new game, but I wouldn't call it a game du jour, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a few newish things. I mean, we did play the new Demeo game, Frank, you and I.
Okay.
Briefly talk about that.
All right, I'll start because I have tons of stuff, and I'll start with the newest game that I can think of that we haven't talked about, and that is Kirby Air Riders. Sean, have you bought Kirby Air Riders yet?
I have not.
All right, well, I played it a bit more today, and I participated. There's an online event this weekend, and I spent about 2 hours playing online Kirby Air Riders yesterday, and I really like it. It's different. It's fun. It looks good. My biggest problem with the game is when you fire it up, it's not really clear what you're supposed to do. I mean, there's the training thing that kind of catches your eye, but it's these 5 different game modes, air ride, city trial. There's the top-down racing. I can't remember what that's called. And then 2 other ones, and one of them is road trip. And I was kind of talking to our pal Corey, and he said, yeah, I think road trip is the right place to start. And it's kind of a roguelike almost, where you're just making choices of different events and building up stats for, like, it's kind of a single-player campaign. That playing that has been nice to learn the mechanics and get used to the game. There's a lot of systems. If you remember Sakurai, when we talked about the Direct, not the second one, just the first, you were just kind of inundated with systems and mechanics and all this stuff going on. And he started by saying, kind of making a joke of like, a lot of people said it's just another Mario Kart. He's like, yeah, it is another Mario Kart. That's pretty much what it is. I don't think it is. It's kind of the opposite of Mario Kart. If you played Mario Kart and then tried to play this, you'd have to kind of relearn how to play. It's the opposite. You don't accelerate. You just decelerate and turn. So clearly similar to Mario Kart, but a completely different way to play and compelling in its own right. And just a bombardment, again, of sensations and visuals. And it just takes a while to adjust to, but I think it is worth playing and fun. I just wish it kind of pushed the player down a path or an ideal way to play. And it's got lots of customization. Like, you make your license for online, and people are really creative with that. You can upload designs for the different crafts and scan them in so other people can download them. There's a lot going on there. It's way more impressive. You know, you might not think it's as much fun as Mario Kart World, but as a Switch 2 launch title, way more impressive. And in providing a next-gen experience and an updated game from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Might not be as accessible or for everyone, but I kind of want to stick with it. It's got a unique vibe that I appreciate. And hey, I paid $100 for the fucking thing. I better play it a few times. But I did. I like the look of it. I think it's a really interesting looking game and super polished, like anything Nintendo. So that was a pleasant surprise. I was like, I'm going to buy this and hate it, but I don't. I kind of like it. And if I'm playing something without trophies, that says something.
I think this is creeping into the old top 10.
Not yet. It's possible, but I highly doubt it.
I mean, I had tried the training or whatever when they had the beta, and it definitely has a different feel than Mario Kart. Like, much more about that. The boosting is kind of the big thing, and I liked what I played of it. I guess to me, it would be more like I would want to play it just with friends. It would be more of like a party game type thing. I don't see myself playing single player too much, but again, I don't know all the different game modes. So
yeah, the weekend event that they had recently was the city trial mode, which is like you go around for a bunch of power ups. Halfway through, they announce the event, and there's like a multitude of different events. I don't know how many. I'm guessing like 10 or something like that. Some is like doing a launch and trying to hit a target. Others is a drag race, just trying to go as fast as you can. So when you find out what the event is, like you pick up power-ups and if it's drag race, you want to find max speed and other things. And so there's like a strategic element. The city portion feels a bit long at times, but it's still fun. And it's a fun party game. Like kind of what Sean said. I think it'd be good to play with people, and it's decent. It warrants its own SKU. This game deserves to exist.
Does it warrant 2 Nintendo Directs?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, who wants to go next?
Sean, go for it.
Okay, I will mention Silent Hill F.
I played this too.
I got it out of the library.
Me too.
But then I had to bring it back. So I only got a week with it, which ended up being about an hour or hour and a half, maybe.
Me too.
Perfect. I liked it. I thought the setting, the period setting was kind of a different vibe. I liked that element. I liked the score and just the atmosphere in general. Combat, I don't know. It's like, this is the thing. Maybe I'm just not. I definitely kind of gravitate more towards the Resident Evil series because they feel a little more actiony. You have a little more control over combat, I feel. Whereas this, I don't know, it feels like you're a little bit. You got weapons that can break. You've got there is a bit of a parry mechanic, but I wasn't totally clicking with it, although there is this focus mechanic, which helps you parry, but they have a sanity meter in this game, bringing me back to Eternal Darkness. Which I don't totally know. Like, there's a few different meters that I was like not fully understanding how they all work together. And there's like this system of when you go to a shrine where you can save the game, you can also give offerings, which could be basically any item in your inventory. I think you can sacrifice any of those things to give you more sanity or faith, I think is the other
yes,
meter or whatever. So just a lot of things that I really didn't totally understand how they all work together yet. But yeah, I mean, I was liking it enough that I kind of would play more of it if it comes back into the library.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised at just movement and vibe-wise, how similar it was to what I played with the Silent Hill 2 remake, because it's a different developer. I don't know if they shared anything or not, but it felt like core gameplay in the same realm. I forgot how much I loved the Silent Hill map when I had replayed the first one, or not replayed, played for the first time, the original on Duck Station or whatever. How it's like a real map and then it's like red lines as if someone drew on it and altered the map, and they've kept true to that in the Silent Hill 2 remake and this one. I really like that for some reason, even though it doesn't look that good. It's a cool idea, and it's Silent Hill's thing. And I was Sean. I kind of liked it, but that focus mechanic, I don't even know how to do it. I focus every time, and there's no indicators. I don't see anything. It says there's supposed to be, if you focus, you notice a window to perform your parry or counter, and I never see anything happen.
Yeah, it seemed like I think I did it a couple times, but it seemed like it just, I entered focus and it immediately happened, and I hit the other button and it worked. But like I don't know.
Yeah, and it feels, for a survival horror game, it feels a little off, like how quick your dodge is and how you can just dash through enemies so easily. And you have to do that a lot to avoid enemies.
Yeah, like I kind of like that, but yeah, I mean, I guess in
I like
general,
the way it feels, but I can see why the game is divisive. I think it's divisive in terms of combat from what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was only really one enemy type that I saw so far, so it's hard to fully judge, but
I like the setting. I liked the vibe. It was decent. I don't know how much more time I'm going to spend with it, just because don't think it's top 10 material, and we got to focus in right now.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it is short-ish, like 10 hours or
Come
something.
on, you got another 2 to 3 months still at least to make this list. Come on.
Well, I do want to prioritize the Game Awards nominees over the next 2 weeks. So, all right, that's it for. Well, that's all I have for Silent Hill left. You have, but I didn't play much, so take that with a grain of salt. All right, Huck.
Yeah. I played a new game, at least new game at Game Pass. I think it's new, called Voidtrain, which I think we've seen in some, shows.
Yeah.
And
it's like part survival game.
Yeah, you're like on this mystical train that's moving through some sort of like spatial void, and you're kind of tethered. You can control how fast the train moves and if it moves forward or back. And then you're also like tethered to the train, so you can kind of hop off and you just float like you're out in space, and you have to try to collect resources that are floating by as your train is progressing along the track. And I only played it for like 20 minutes, and I was like collecting things to build stuff, and I didn't really love it. Like, I didn't know why I was on this train. I didn't know what I was going towards. Like, you're kind of just looking out around for random pieces of wood and scrap and stuff that's like floating around. And I don't know, it didn't really capture me in any way. Like, I understand I'm collecting things to build things, but there was no like mystery. There's no story like telling me kind of like why I'm doing this and what I'm building towards. There's no obvious goals of like things to build first. Like normally in these games, they'll make it fairly obvious what like the first thing is you should maybe do at least. I mean, I guess there's like a notepad and stuff that did tell you like, oh, collect these like wood and something else. But I don't know. It just didn't capture me at all. And I don't know. Didn't do anything for me.
Well, you play Subnautica.
I love Subnautica.
But Subnautica doesn't really tell you what to do when you start it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But there is
you love
still.
That.
I know. I was thinking about that while I'm saying this, but there is more of that intrigue of like you just crash landed, you can see the ship, you've got the distress calls, so there are things that are like drawing you out into the world, right? And as you go out and swim, you very quickly find out that you can't hold your breath very long, and you very quickly find out that like there's things around you can get, fish, you got your health meter and stuff you need to manage. So you're immediately kind of like forced to start collecting things to figure out, okay, how do I eat? How do I increase my food? How do I increase my water? You're kind of like forced through the gameplay to craft things. And this, I just felt like I was along for this train ride and building stuff that was just in a list. Like there's no gameplay driving me to really do anything. Like I could have put the train on full speed and stood on the train for an infinite amount of time, and it wouldn't have had me do anything else. Right? Like in Subnautica, if I stood there, I would die. Game would be over.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point.
Yeah. It reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, there is a game I played that's kind of similar that I'll get to, but like, wasn't there like isn't it called like Raft or something? Isn't that like a big survival game?
Yeah, my kids play that.
I think you're on a vehicle and then you go out and you come back.
It's very similar to Raft. It's probably exactly like Raft.
I mean, all these survival games are really similar. That's why I always thought Voidtrain at least had an interesting, unique concept, kind of the same way we were talking about from the partner preview, the Cozy Sim with the aliens. It's like, okay, it's a train, this weird fantasy train. But I have to say, I know strategy games are one of my biggest blind spots for gaming, but survival is number one. I've never really gotten into any survival game like that I can think of, big or small, indie.
Yeah.
I don't get them.
Yeah, it's almost about like, and the nice thing about Subnautica is like as you're exploring. You get more radio signals, which then give you kind of like more things you need to go out and craft, and you have to find blueprints and stuff to go deeper. Like, you can't go deeper. There's like artificial ceilings or in Subnautica's like depths you can't get to. And as you're going to those new areas, you're finding the blueprints that let you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And this, I didn't get any sense of, what was stopping me, what was driving me. So like just that initial gameplay, like it comes back to like that initial hour of gameplay being so crucial, of like driving the player to like really, like it's the same with that Clover Pit game. Like, okay, I'm pulling a lever, but I don't understand what the gameplay is really trying to get me to do here. And, with Vampire Survivor, it's like very simple. Like, you are just walking around, trying not to get hit and trying to survive as long as possible. Like, you can describe that game very quickly.
I feel like some of these games are just building on other similar games, and they're almost just assuming
Maybe.
But if you haven't played that game, then you're screwed.
Yeah. But I think Raft's a perfect example. Like, okay, you're on a raft, you're trying to survive, but at least there's like that. I think there's still the aspect of like you're in the ocean and you're trying to survive or something. But I don't know. I guess you have to probably get food in that game. It's probably similar. I don't know. Every time I see my kids playing it, they're just doing the survival mode, building some big raft and like doing stupid shit. So I don't even know what the game really is.
All right, I will mention another new game briefly, Morsels. This is a kind of quirky rogue light, I guess, published by Annapurna Interactive. And I'd seen this stuff in this game in showcases before, and it's got a very cool art style. It's kind of similar to Animal Well, but with more colorful and brighter, and you absorb these morsels to fight as weapons. It's hard to explain, and honestly that's my biggest problem with the game. And every review that I've read that's negative feels the same way. That looks really cool, great vibe, I have no idea what I'm doing. Game doesn't explain the most basic mechanics, and honestly the way you use the different morsels to fire weapons, it's not fun. It's kind of annoying. And it feels like, I don't know, to me it's got really bad design. These are designers that are just like, you know what, figure it out on your own. That's why this game's cool, and you're wrong. You need to at least help people figure out why your game's cool other than art. And I just don't think it does a very good job, and it's not fun. If it was fun and what I was doing was a mystery and I was figuring things out, I would be like, okay, I'm having fun, so I'll keep going until I figure out more. But it's not even fun. So it's annoying. It's an annoying game. And I'm kind of surprised that the reviews are as positive as they are. And I think it's like really lacking in gameplay and a very thin game design. Or they could introduce some elements to help me understand it more. But done with Morsels for now.
It's interesting because the videos make it look very interesting. Like there's so much going on. Like the art style is really nice. Like I was just about to wishlist this, and then you started shitting on it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I won't.
I would be interested if it wasn't a roguelike. And I know that's partially just me, but like I feel like what Frank's saying, the fact that you're not sure what you're doing, but you're just doing it over and over again, like it doesn't feel like you're progressing if that's the case.
I was not making it far, and I just don't think the game establishes goals and win conditions or like just the basic fundamentals of what you need to know to play. And on top of that, like just shooting stuff, the core mechanic of shooting these little bullets or bubbles, right? It's not fun. It just, and you would think the hook is you get these different morsels and experiment with them, and they just confuse you. It's not. I was really turned off by this game.
It's too bad.
I still wouldn't write it off completely though. It just didn't hook me this time. And if someone said, actually, once you get into it, it's amazing, I could see it possibly, but I didn't come to that conclusion on my own. All right, Sean, what do you got?
So kind of, this is the game kind of like what Voidtrain, what Huck was talking about. So this is RV There Yet, but this is more of another peak type game. I believe the genre name that people are starting to use is friend slop. Have you guys heard this term?
No.
The slop part, it kind of is misleading. It makes you think it has something to do with AI or something, but I guess it's more just games that are kind of emergent, maybe a little bit glitchy, but they're fun to play with friends. And so, games like Peak, what was the one last year? I can't remember. But there's been a few of these, and then they just seem to catch on like wildfire. And
wasn't there one earlier this year that you played?
Well, Peak was the main one I was thinking of that I think came out earlier this year.
I thought there was one with 2 words in the title, but I just call these slop.
Yeah, that works too. But so this is you're kind of working through a forest, through campsites, and you're driving an RV with other people, and you got to kind of park the RV, go off and look for resources. There's bears that come after you, and they can like damage the RV, so then you got to find things to repair it. And it was kind of fun. I think this one, unlike something like Peak, I don't think it's procedurally generated. I think all the levels are very straight, like you're going to see the same level every time. And so when you progress through that level, you keep moving through the game, which I kind of like. It's not amazing, but for what it is, it's kind of cool. It actually reminded me a little bit of what I think that new John Carpenter game might be too. Like, I know it's not like it's more of a action horror game, but the idea that you have this vehicle that's shared and you're moving through the world and you can kind of go off and do something and come back to the safety of the vehicle. It's kind of a cool element of this game.
There's a mild element of that in the new Black Ops 7 Zombies mode. It's all centered around a vehicle that you upgrade and take around the parts of the map, which is getting really annoying. I was finally with someone who was amazing at that game last night and got me to the final boss, and we died. And it was all my fault, and I felt so bad. All right, Huck, what else you got?
So last thing I played was Absolum, and I did a couple runs of this game, and I am really enjoying it so far. It is really excellent, and it feels, despite it being run-based, it feels like you're traversing a map in like a very like specific way, and you're exploring this environment that is leading you to different areas, and you have like a progression you're trying to go to and everything. And I don't know, I think just how they deliver the content to you makes a lot of sense in like as you're going from the beginning to the end, or you're trying to get further and further in the game. I think I ran across like 2 bosses so far. I think the second one killed me. But like really it's I find the mechanics really good. I've only used the one character so far that you start with, not the like dwarf character, but the other kind of character. And I don't know, it just feels very easy to play, very natural. Combat's fluid. The like parrying and dodging all makes a lot of sense, like how it functions, and the enemies you run into are all very like natural in the world environment. Like so far the art style is really great. I'm really liking everything about this game. So I was gonna pick it up another time last night, but I only had like 20 minutes, and I know the last time I played for like an hour. And so I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is enough time. I want to really like sit down and have time to dedicate for a solid run or two. So I had to carve out some time to play this game. But it is it is good. I am really enjoying it. So it's definitely going to be one of those games I got to keep going on for the top tier games of the year.
Played a bit of it as well. I don't know if we need 3 people having it in their top 10 list, but but no, I also really liked it and thought it is something about the beat 'em up, the arcadey beat 'em up genre is very easy to pick up and play. So it has that, but then it is putting things on top of it that make it more interesting than a lot of those games tend to be.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, replayable.
Yes, definitely.
And then I played one other thing quickly. I don't know if you want to add any more, Sean, but I just wanted to quickly mention I did finish Mafia: The Old Country, which
Game of the year?
No, I don't know about that, but it doesn't do enough new, but it does everything you want it to do. It does it great, and the story is really good. So, and the pacing is excellent. Like, I really, really enjoyed my time with the game. Yeah, it is really good. So, just quick aside. Nothing really to add on that one. Just definitely don't sleep on Mafia: The Old Country, for sure.
Sean, did you want to say anything else about Absolum? Talk about how good it is and how right I was.
No, I mean, like, you are right, and I totally, it is a little bit of an under the radar game, so it deserves an extra push, I think. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I've got a few, like, this is the thing, roguelikes, I'm already like a little bit resistant to, and I've got like 5 of them I want to play. I've been playing Ball Pit and actually kind of getting hooked on that one, so I'm trying to focus on that one right now. But I will keep playing Absolum as well.
Nice. I mean, it is the year of the roguelike, the return of the roguelike for me.
Yeah.
I've, Absolum, Rogue Prince of Persia, and this week was dominated by Hades 2. Finally dipping my toes into Hades 2 in the silver pool. And it might have been a mistake because I could play this game forever. I know I think I might have said this for Hades 1. Like, if you told me I could only play one game for the rest of my life, I might have said Hades, and now I might say Hades 2. Just because there's so many combinations. It's insane how much content is in this game. And it was in early access, so I wouldn't be surprised if Absolum borrowed some things from Hades 2, but there are some similar ideas, and Hades 2 made this amazing decision in terms of pacing, where you can go up or down on your runs. And so you're going towards Mount Olympus or down to Tartarus, basically. And you have to decide which way you want to go. And there's different resources that you collect depending on which way you go. So it's incentive to do different runs and get more variety while you do things. That, along with all the different weapon types. I mean, it's a really great sequel in that it captures the essence of Hades, but new character, new story, but not completely disjointed. Some familiar characters and systems, while still, I think, addressing the number one issue with Hades to some degree, which is runs getting repetitive. And Hades 1 already had systems to help with that, including the heat system and other ways of making the game more dynamic as you play more. But this one adds the 2 paths. It adds other keepsakes and familiars to improve runs, and it also adds chaos trials, which are one of my favorite things in the game, which is like you don't do a full run. It's like a preset challenge where you have boons and like kind of random seeds that are designed to make you play differently. And in my mind, designed to maybe have you try combinations of gods and builds that aren't that intuitive, that are actually really cool and have interesting effects. So you go in and it's like, oh, they give you Ares and Hera, or Zeus and Hera, with really high powered things. And it's designed to make you think about a different type of run. And it really changes the way you think about the game and opens up your mind to new ways of playing. And I just love this infusion into the game. So I'm loving the game. I think I'm going to pull myself away from it. I've beaten going up and down, and I'm kind of on end game and final version of beating it. I don't think I've technically rolled credits, but it's like, how long do I spend with this game? I don't know if I have a criticism, it's like, I don't know kind of what I'm supposed to be doing right now, but I'm just doing runs and having a lot of fun. So, love Hades 2. It's not, I think Absolum is more interesting for me in terms of roguelikes, but it's still, like I said, if I could only play one game forever, right now I might say Hades 2, because core mechanics are so tight and just so much going on. So many potential combinations. And I'll just briefly mention, I tried TMNT Splintered Fate because it's basically simpler Hades with Ninja Turtles, and it's good. It's fun. It's, not as challenging or interesting, but it's still good. I mean, if you had to pick between the two, it's no contest between Hades, but it's a fun little simplified take on it if I don't want to do a hardcore game. And they kind of captured and adapted Hades for a Turtles IP in an interesting way. Haven't tried co-op yet. Maybe could be the appealing factor for this game. But yeah, I got it from the library, and then I ended up buying it, and I will play it at some point, but probably not much more this year.
Okay. I played the first chapter of Dispatch.
Oh yeah, interesting.
A lot of people talking about this game.
Yeah.
It's I believe Telltale developers. So it's kind of a narrative-based game. A lot of choices, and it was released in chapters. I believe all 8 chapters are out now. And it was pretty impressive in terms of the visuals. And I guess just to set it up, it's kind of a superhero story where you start off, you're playing as a superhero called Mecha Man, kind of an Iron Man type guy with a suit. But it leads into the idea that you become a dispatch operator for a company that manages a bunch of superheroes, and you have to kind of choose which heroes go to which missions and kind of oversee that.
It's a bit of a almost Papers, Please element, I think, right? Like deciding who goes where, but you're influencing story and character.
Right.
But you're kind of managing things.
So, but the first chapter is kind of like, I don't know if I fully, like, you start off and you kind of, there's a big battle and there's like a bunch of quick time events. And then it's just a long stretch where you're just kind of watching this. It felt like an episode of like Invincible or something. Like it's well written and I was into it, but it was a lot of watching. And then you get to that section of, you do the first kind of management thing and you learn how the dispatch thing works. And a little bit strategic. I don't know that I fully understood all the elements that I needed to, but I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But I don't know if there's more to the game than this. So I definitely, like, for people who, aren't into narrative type games, walking simulator type things, you feel like you got to be doing something all the time, it's probably not for you. But if you're into...
How long was that, like, episode thing you're talking about?
About an hour.
Whoa.
Which I think is what they all are.
Damn. Yeah, it seems like to beat it is 9 to 10 hours, so that makes sense.
So an hour with, like, no gameplay, just watching?
Well, like I said, quick time events, some dialogue choices, and then this management element, which came in maybe in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, once you get to the I haven't played it, but just from the footage I've seen, there's mini games and there is definitely more gameplay stuff than what's in the first chapter. Okay. But this game looks so good.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah. But again, it's like a TV show, basically, a really well animated TV show. With some interactive elements. So, if that's not your thing, I totally get it, but I will definitely be playing more. Still not sure if it's top 10 material. We'll have to see, but I am intrigued, I guess I will say.
It is in my cart. I will be buying it tonight and playing it this week, hopefully. Huck, did you have anything else?
No, that's everything for me.
Okay, I will mention Pokemon Legends ZA or ZA. I got this from the library.
Wow.
And I always
This
try
is the
Pokemon
latest one?
games. Yeah. Came out in November, I think, on Switch and Switch 2. And this is, I didn't really put it together, an entry in the Legends series, so Arceus, which are more kind of open world and not your traditional Pokemons. And I did kind of like what I played of Arceus. Now, what pulled me into this one or had me a little more interested in it is that it's real-time battles. So it's not your traditional Pokemon turn-based. You're kind of moving the character and picking Pokemon moves on the fly. And it's still pretty simple, clearly geared towards children. But just that alone made it a bit more engaging for me and has pulled me in a little closer than previous Pokemon games have. I've tried to force feed Pokemon my whole life. I'm like, everyone loves Pokemon. Well, I don't get it. Please, I want to get it. So I'm trying again, and I ended up buying it because I had to return it to the library, and I got the Switch 2 upgrade. I do love the look of it. It's not like technically mind-blowing, especially the city. The models in the city are not good. But there's something about the characters and this glow they have and this smoothness that I really like it. But I have to mention this. I thought I was losing my mind. I fired the game up and you're like cutscenes, cinematics, and subtitles. I'm like, where's the audio? Where's the talking? There's no talking. There's no voice audio at all, even in cinematics.
Not even like little like mumbles?
No, nothing.
Weird.
It feels like it's broken.
Huh.
Yeah, it's been a Nintendo thing for years, but yeah, for Switch 2 new games, that's a little shocking.
I mean, I'm fine with like dialogue in game and characters, but this is like big stuff, establishing characters and story. And it's just kind of happening with no audio. Like sometimes no audio at all at any playing in the game. It's really weird. It feels broken. Strange. It's such a strange choice. Like this is Pokemon. They print money. How can they not pay for voice acting? It's nuts. Another fucking bullshit Nintendo thing. But I will say I'm kind of liking it. I played it a bit more today, and I'm trying to stick with it for a bit. And I would say so far, the systems and collecting and menus are pulling me in more than previously. I don't want to say I like it yet, but I feel like this has the most potential to make me appreciate Pokemon. So we'll see. And I had a voucher I had to use, so
Of course.
Got to get these vouchers going.
Okay, well, I guess last thing I will mention, have been under the visor a bit lately. I had a few other VR things maybe I'll talk about next week, but Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons : Battlemarked.
Cross Dungeons and Dragons, I think. It's like ball cross. You've played 2 games that have feature a cross.
Yeah, ball pit is just pronounced ball pit. So I don't know how this one is supposed to be pronounced, but it's it's a thing, man. It's the new trend, I guess. But so this is the Demeo spin-off, sequel, whatever you want to call it.
It's kind of, I just noticed this. Sorry, Sean, but it wouldn't it have been cooler to call it Demeo and Dungeons and Dragons, like D&D and D?
Sure. Yeah, that could have been good.
It's weird to have 2 different, like, what's the word? Like characters that kind of mean the same thing, but they're different. It's just, I didn't realize this until right now, looking at it on Steam.
They probably wanted to have, the 2 logos very separate, but
100%.
Still part of the title.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So it's Dungeons and Dragons branded, and it's kind of with the gameplay mechanics of Demeo. So if you haven't played Demeo, it's a VR game, also available on flat screen, but initially it was VR, and it's kind of, that's, how it's intended to be played, where it's kind of a tabletop role-playing experience. Not so much role-playing, I guess more of like a strategy, as if you're sitting around playing like a strategy board game, like Hero Quest, I guess, is a good comparison. And you've got like a deck of cards that control, the different attacks and abilities your character has. And you can play with friends, obviously, co-op. And so the original Demeo was kind of, you just have these, I don't know if you would call them more like scenarios, I guess. They're just dungeons where you kind of go in and then there's a boss at the end that you're working towards. And there wasn't that much of a story or anything. So this kind of connects all those things with the continuing story and characters that actually level up between combat scenarios and a little bit of dialogue and things like that, going into a tavern and getting quests from people, that kind of stuff. And I've seen some reviews of people who are big Dungeons and Dragons fans being kind of disappointed because it doesn't have a lot of the mechanics of D&D, which fair enough. It is basically Demeo just skinned with D&D. But I am enjoying it. We've been playing it a bit. I feel like I'm starting to, it's hard. Like we've died a lot. But I feel like I'm starting to understand more of the strategy. Like there's a lot of different elements working together of like knowing what different enemies are weak to and what objects are in the room that you can use to your advantage and all that kind of stuff that we weren't paying as much attention to, and now we're kind of focusing in on. So, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I just find like the game punishes you for thinking outside the box or like it doesn't tell you how these systems work. So for example, in the tutorial, if the ground gets set on fire, it says if you throw water on it, it'll douse out the fire. So I'm like, well, I want to set something on fire, but I'm going to I soak myself in water first so I don't catch on fire. I'm like, water, I'm going to save myself. This is such good strategic thinking. And then you do it and it still sets you on fire anyway. I'm like, well, I don't know. Does water cancel out fire? It's only after the fact. And I just find it's never what I think it's going to be. It's always some weird chain reaction of rules that I'm like, how could you possibly anticipate all these things happening? And I find that the most on the enemy turn, when enemies come from areas that you don't have line of sight. And it's just like, how could I possibly have prepared for this? It's impossible. You're just like, feel like you're getting like fucked by the game completely. And then maybe that could be part of the design where it's like, yeah, now you have to recover. And that's where the difficulty is kind of baked in. And it was fun. It was very satisfying to get through that scenario the second time. So as Jay will attest to, it's a roller coaster ride. I hate the game and then I love the game and then I hate it. But last thing I'll say, after we talked about the Evil East Chronicles, the Tactics remake, this has little cutscenes where the pieces of the board game are animating and doing stuff that I thought was kind of cool and cute. And I like that. And I wish there was more of it, to be honest, in the game.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like I know, it is kind of supposed to be primarily a VR game, but I do feel like people who are into tactics games, they may get into this. Like it's obviously not as deep as something like Final Fantasy Tactics, but I don't know. I feel like
similar.
There's an audience there that maybe hasn't discovered this game yet. So
I thought it was very similar to what I played at Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. I was definitely thinking of that too.
Those first battles I did in that game, I was like, whoa, how was I supposed to know like all these things could happen? And it's only experience. So that's where I always feel at a disadvantage playing these games, because I've never played D&D and I feel like, oh, everyone knows this stuff from playing D&D that I don't know, but apparently no one knows it. No, you couldn't possibly know it.
I mean, there are rules, but like which rules are they using? And it's not all of them. So
yeah, but it's good. I like it a lot too. Although there have been a lot of bugs. A lot of issues.
That's true. Yeah. First day we played it, Jay kept getting disconnected for no apparent reason. So that wasn't the greatest experience.
And there was other, like, placing cards and trying to do stuff. Okay, last thing for VR, PS2 VR. I'm reaching out to the Game Junk community, any of the VR heads out there, we need a way, if there isn't already, someone tell me, to expand your sitting range. If I'm playing seated VR, I do not want warnings if I reach too far. I want to be able to say, I feel safe sitting here. Let me do whatever I want, please. And I've been having issues with a fully bright room, having to rescan the whole room again all the time. Like, something's fucked with PSVR 2. And it doesn't seem to happen to anyone else. And I don't know if it's my headset or what, but it's fucked. I can't take it anymore. I had to get up in the middle and rescan everything in the middle of a match. I'm like, how does this happen? I'm sitting down in a bright room. This should not happen.
Yeah, I don't know. That hasn't happened to me, but...
And last rant I got to go on. Completely unrelated. Playing a lot of Call of Duty and Battlefield 6, Black Ops 7, Battlefield 6. We got to do something about gun names. Everything is some abbreviation. You got AK-47s, AK-259s, just collections of letters that I don't know what they mean with numbers beside them. GoldenEye knew what it was doing. It had names for guns. Moonraker Laser, Proximity Mines, PP7. Can we try to make a concerted effort to give guns nicknames and cool names so you can refer to them easily when you tell someone, what gun do you use? Oh, I know, not that game, not some random collection of letters and numbers that no one can memorize. This needs to stop.
But I assume they're based on real guns, right?
How
like,
could they be?
Problem?
This is futuristic Black Ops weapons.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll say the names are a bit better in Black Ops 7, but Battlefield 6's gun names are the worst. We need to change this immediately. I don't care if they're real names. Give them nicknames on top of the real name, please, so we can refer to things easily. And anytime in either of these games I'm looking to pick up a gun, I want to know if it's just its general weapon class, because I don't know what these names mean. They're all so similar. Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. Who thought this was a good idea to name guns with letters and numbers and just different combinations when there's 50 fucking different guns in the game?
Hey, you know what game's got good gun names?
GoldenEye?
Borderlands 4.
Name 3 guns in Borderlands 4.
I don't know what they are, but they have names.
That's the point of names. Okay. So you remember things and associate that name to describe them. You can't name 3. So therefore, I say they are bad names.
They're not letters and numbers.
That is an improvement. All right. Anyone else have anything they played or anything they need to add?
Nope.
Okay. Well, this week we got Marvel Cosmic Invasion coming out, I thought, at midnight, but it's not until noon or so tomorrow, maybe 11 o'clock. And we got Metroid Prime 4 on Friday. Any other major releases this week?
There's some horror game that's coming out on Game Pass called Routine. Do you guys
I remember
about
Routine.
this one?
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a few things.
All right. Probably the last wave of games before we call it for 2025 with any new major stuff. So we'll weigh in on that and get prepared for the Game Awards the following week. You can watch us at youtube.com/GameJunk. Feel free to review, subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. Leave a comment. Discord links are there on YouTube as well. Either way, thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.